What's up, people? Welcome back to the parts guys. Today I'm going to be messing with this spare intake manifold I got. I'm going to be porting it out because I picked up that 70mm throttle body forever ago, and this original intake manifold sits at about 62mm. So got to take out 8mm of aluminum all around that thing, and so I'm gonna be doing that today, and it's the first project we got going on here in the new garage space. I'm super excited about that. And also don't forget about the t-shirts now available. Check those out, support your boy. Let me bring you up to speed with what I'm doing here. All right, so when it comes to porting out this intake manifold, what I'm concerned with to begin with is just this upper plenum. This thing, I have already started porting it out in the past. And you can see I've already got it traced and everything. You just take the new gasket, leave your studs on there, put it over the studs, trace around there with a marker, and then you know where to cut to and whatnot. So as you can see, I've already cut nearly to the line down here, and if you look in it, I've gone pretty much flush all through here. But that took a nightmare worth of time. And as you can see, there's still so much meat left to take out. I'm going to show you what I was using before. Originally, I picked up this Harbor Freight kit here. This was, you know, the battery operated one. And this guy just, you know, it runs for 5 minutes and then it takes 2 hours to charge. So you can just believe how many cycles of that I've gone through. And I don't want to do that again. So now we're going to be wired in directly. We don't have to worry about the battery going. And I also have got these much larger bits. And they got the same sort of cutting edge on it. It will take out the aluminum like it's nothing. I'm hoping, because this one was able to cut through pretty dang good. And it's so small, it takes forever. It's like, you know, I could etch in there more than anything. But this we're going to use to really take the meat out. And like I said, there's a substantial amount still to go. This is the stock, the original throttle body that came off this intake manifold. And this is the 70mm one. You can see, even just looking in the box, you can see how much larger that is. This is 70mm, and this is like 60 or 62mm, maybe. So yeah, that's why we got to cut all that meat out, and we're going to get that done. Alright, so this upper plenum's finally ported out to 70mm. It's not perfect, it's not pretty, but it's going to get the job done. We'll call this the stage 1 setup. I'm going to go ahead and get this whole thing put back together. I already got the sensors on the throttle body. We're going to get that on there. I picked up a gasket set so I can go ahead and swap it out onto the actual Nudelude over here. And that's really not going to take too much. I'm going to take off this strut brace here. And then it's like 5 bolts holding on the upper plenum. That's all we're swapping out. Then I'm going to reuse my idle control motor off here to swap the gasket on it. And take this intake tube off for now and take off the map sensor and throttle position sensor connectors there. Then there's a couple coolant lines down here. There is spots for those coolant lines on this throttle body. You can see right here, it just doesn't have the little plunger thermal apparatus that's at the bottom of the stock throttle body, but that's fine by me. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and swap that out real quick. We're gonna get this intake built and ready to go on the car. So here's the ported intake plenum. Ooh, got some coolant. Here's the stock one. Do a little size comparison here. Go ahead. Try and get it down over these studs. There we go. Yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Alright, so I got her buttoned back up. I left the intake tube off, but I'm ready to do the first startup. We'll see if that throttle position sensor is anywhere near where it needs to be, but doesn't look like I'm missing anything. Got all the vacuum lines that I do have connected there, and looks like everything's torqued down. We're ready to go. Time to fire this thing up. Yep, we'll have to check that throttle position sensor because that thing doesn't start up very well. But now it seems to be idling okay though. Yep. Gotta check that throttle position sensor. See what it sounds like from inside. Go get on this thing. So the car sat for the last couple weeks because it's been the holidays and all that good jazz. Got married, had the new year. been busy, right? So last time I drove the car, the thing was jumping around every time I pushed the clutch in. It'd jump up to about 1,500 RPMs, and it just hold it there for what felt like forever. And then it dropped down to about 500 RPMs, sounded like it was going to die on itself. But driving felt fine. So I tried doing a little bit of research and stuff. And remember, I never actually adjusted that throttle position sensor. I literally just turned it, and it sounded like it idled fine. I'm like, yeah, that's good. Yep, we'll call that good. So, nonetheless, I had to go back through. I've already fixed it, but I'm going to show you guys what I did to take care of that sporadic idle and, you know, get it back riding right. Alright, so to start out with, I adjusted the throttle position sensor. I got it all set up right now to give you guys just a quick view of how I got it. With the multimeter, you got to have that set on VDC. I got it on the 20 right there. So, it should measure up to 20 volts. But nonetheless, the wire we're back probing, I don't know if you can really see in there. I'll try to get a little bit closer. I have a pin pushed into the back of the wire there. It's not puncturing the wire. It's going in between the wire and the insulation and just touching the metal on it there. But nonetheless, that's the red wire going into the plug, which is the middle wire. And that's where we're going to get our voltage signal from. And then I just stick this in the negative terminal. That'll hold. I have this propped up, so it's touching that pin. So that's holding. And the range we're looking for, we want to be at 0.5 at closed throttle, and then 4.5 at wide open throttle. So you can see it is kind of jumping around a little bit. It's going from like 0.52, 0.53, sitting at closed throttle. That position, the throttle position sensor is probably going out, to be honest with you. But nonetheless, I'll show you as I open the throttle. The voltage goes up, peaks at like 4.66, and then it seems to kind of drop down a little bit, and it's going to rest right about that 4.5. But nonetheless, I've already adjusted that throttle position sensor. That's squared away, so that's part of the problem. The second issue was the idle speed, and the way you adjust the idle speed, that there's a screw on the throttle body here. See that big flat head right here? This big flat head? That's how you actually adjust the idle speed. But the way you do it is first you got to fire the car up, let it warm up all the way, and then come pull off the connector, disconnect the idle control motor there, and then you might hear the idle change a little bit. It might not. But with that disconnected, you won't be fighting it to adjust the idle speed. So you come over here, and then you just turn that screw until you're resting right about 700 RPMs. And that should be your idle speed, is 700. Then you come back, plug this back in, and you're good to go, squared away. And so that seemed to take care of both problems. It's not jumping up to 1,500 RPMs anymore whenever I clutch it, and it's not dropping down to 500 RPMs after it's, you know, revved out for a while. So that should be my only issues. The only other thing that I've done since porting that and putting the larger throttle body on is I took the vacuum line off of the fuel pressure regulator. The only thing that's doing is it's keeping this force shut, so it should essentially give me more fuel pressure at a lower RPM range, honestly. It doesn't do me any more benefit, I would say, at high RPM, but nonetheless, I have more air volume. I wanted to, if I can cheat the system and get some more fuel going through there, I wanted to do that. I'm going to take it out on another cruise here and just show you how it's feeling with it 100% squared away. once we have the turbo on. But personally, I feel like I got a little more torque in the low end range. It really feels like half throttle is what used to be 3/4 throttle or even full throttle. I do gotta say, I'm really happy with the first version of this ported intake. I would like to try shortening up them runners a little bit by taking out that mid plate, you know, just to test the theory, see what happens. But all in all, I'm really happy with what happened. Hopefully it helps you guys out, maybe gives you guys an idea. That throttle body that's on here costs, I think, 49 or 48 bucks off eBay. It is a no-name throttle body, and so far working just fine, and it mounted up no problem. I just had to pour it out my intake manifold. All right, until next time, I'm Dan, the Prelude dude. This is the parts, guys. Peace. I like it, man. It sounds good. Woo! Oh, I did forget to mention the fact I have no check engine light on. The car does not think anything's wrong right now, you know, and you saw what all I got disabled.